Awesome. Okay, looks like I may have fixed the issue. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, it looks good. Thank goodness. So sometimes technology offers some challenges, which is good times, good times. But I just wanted to welcome everybody today to another Tuesday Teachings. It is October 26th. Holy. And I still can't believe it's almost like Halloween's like on Sunday. That's crazy. We still haven't carved pumpkins yet, so we get to carve pumpkins this week, which is one of my favorite pastimes. Um, and I'm just really thankful and humbled to be here. I know I was running a little bit behind just because I had to take a little bit of time to make dinner for my family, but I think that's important. You have to prioritize your kids and your family, and make sure that your household is running before you contribute to community. And so, oh my goodness, hi Donna, long time no see. So I just wanted to welcome everyone into the circle today by acknowledging the land upon which we stand. I acknowledge the Blackfoot of Siksika, Kainai, and Piikani. I am in Treaty 7 territory, which was traditionally known as the Blackfoot Confederacy. And I'm just really humbled and thankful to live here. I also want to thank the Sarsi from Tsuut'ina, also known as the Beaver people. And I also want to give thanks to the Stoney Nakoda from Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. I go out there for ceremony all the time, and I'm just really humbled and thankful to, to be where I am. My family, I'm from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation, which is in Saskatchewan and Treaty 6 territory. And I'm just really thankful and humbled to be here because I think your community and your family is where you are. And it's important to continue to build that in a meaningful and in a good way. I also acknowledge the Métis of Region 3, which is why I proudly wear my Métis sash, which was actually given to me by a Blackfoot elder, and I'm very thankful for that. But to welcome everyone today into the circle, I wanted to share the Cree welcome song. Traditionally, when we sing songs, we sing in rounds of 4 to honor the 4 directions of the medicine wheel, but this song is a little bit different. We actually sing it in rounds of 3, and that's to keep the circle open and welcoming so everyone completes the circle today. I start everything I do with this song. It's a way of calling in our ancestors. It's our way of just connecting with everyone and bringing everyone into the circle fully and completely. It teaches us not to judge each other, but really to honor everyone and the journey that we share together, to acknowledge that everyone has different talents, different things that makes them special and makes them contribute to community in a good way, and we need to support each other in how we give back to community. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to agree 100% of the time, but it's those moments when we can come together and compromise. That's truly what makes the community resilient, which is why it's so important that we need to talk to each other. We need those open lines of communication, and we can't shut down that communication or nothing is ever going to change. And so this song really reminds us to be humble and to really be part of that greater community. It also teaches us really about acknowledging the beauty in each and every one of us and the different things that we can learn from each other to grow and move forward for all of our future generations. This song is from the Nathau family from Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation, and I thank them for keeping this song alive for so many generations, because we weren't able to share our songs, to share our stories, to speak our languages, to wear our regalia, to practice ceremony, anything like that for quite some time. And I'm just really thankful and humbled that we can be in a time where we can share with everyone and we can share with each other. And so Miasin, which is the Cree welcome song, it doesn't just mean welcome, it also means beautiful. I'm going to move the chair. Oops. Sorry. There we go. Miasen, miasen, hasemina, hasemina, epetakote, niwagomagan, hota, homa, ki Kita skino miasen miasen hasemina hasemina e peita kote niwagomagan hota homa kita skino. Hi, hi, and welcome to the circle today, everyone. So, yeah, I'm just really excited to be back. I have my desk set up for the first time since we moved into my home because we found all the screws, which is so exciting. And so, I'm going to be laying out my medicines again on my desk. So, as I'm pulling them out, though, I'm going to talk a little bit about them and why they're so important. I know that I haven't really done like full-on medicine teachings online in a long time, but they're really, really important. They're important teachings to share and important teachings to carry, and I do go really in depth with them when I'm sharing with like different organizations and schools and whatnot, but of course we don't have that much time. So I'm just going to share them. Ooh. Just realized I had all of my sticks in there. So I save my sage stems, my sage sticks, and usually leave them out for the birds, just because they take them to their nests and they use them for insulation. They're also antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. They don't mold or mildew, so this is why they're really good for birds' nests, and so they really love them. There we go. Awesome. So there's my smudge bowl, and I'm going to just dig into all of the wonderful things that I have in my bag. Awesome. So these are my lovely matches. I'm very thankful for this beautiful container, and I have some extra sets of matches in there, but just to keep them all organized and all together. I also have a type of fungus in here, which is it's really, really lovely. We use it, it's from up north, and we use it for burning for specific ceremonies, but it's just really lovely, and it smells really good. So every time I open the case, I always get hit with that smell, and I love it. So, pulling all of the good stuff out of my bag here. I'm going to pull it out in order so that I can lay out my medicines in accordance to the medicine wheel. And again, when I share these teachings, these are just mine. There's no right or wrong way. It's just dependent on, you know, where you're from and how you learn your teachings and who you learn your teachings from. And even your medicine wheel teachings might change multiple times in your lifetime depending on the path that you're on, and that's okay. It's not about right or wrong. It's just about different, and this is why I encourage people to learn from different elders and different knowledge keepers from different nations, because we're not all one nation. I mean, we're all related, but we all have different teachings depending on where we're from. And so this is why it's so important to explore those, and because you never know what's going to work for you on your path and in your life and the healing and the teachings that you need. And so I can only share what I know. But that being said, we're going to start in the east, and in the east on my medicine wheel I have sweetgrass. Sweetgrass is considered the men's medicine, the sweetest medicine, the children's medicine. Smells really good. Pull that out of the bag. And it comes in these beautiful, beautiful braids. I'm going to make a mess with them because a couple of them I've actually been using. And so, all right, there we go. So this is the beautiful braid of sweetgrass, and the braid has 3 sections. Every section has 7 blades of sweetgrass to represent the 7 teachings, the 7 generations, and it helps us make good decisions. It's honoring our mind. It's honoring the East, Grandfather Sun, who is a big ball of fire. So we honor Grandfather Sun in the East when we lay out our medicine there. Move that a little bit far forward so you can actually see them. There we go. And now we're going to go to the south, and in the south I have, where is it? Here we go. This is cedar, and cedar is amazing. It's a body medicine. It's good for our connection, our grounding. I have a couple different kinds of cedar in the bag. So I have white cedar, which is a little bit tighter, and it's all tangled up now because it's wrapped. and then I've got red cedar. So I'll hold them together so you can see the difference. Ooh, here we go. So there's my red cedar on the one side, and then my white cedar on the other. It is really good. It's antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. It's got an antihistamine in it. I'm going to probably boil some afterwards because I've been having some tough times with my asthma, and when I boil it on the stove and breathe in the vapors, it actually really does help. It's really good for your skin as well, so you can use it for psoriasis, eczema, rashes, anything really. It's just good for your body on the inside and the outside of your body. So whenever I feel like a little tickle coming on in my throat, oh, into a brown bag. Oh, very cool. I've never heard that before. So I used to have a white or a yellow bag because that's usually my color in the East, but I've never heard of putting it into a brown bag before. Thank you so much. I love learning teachings from many different backgrounds because you never know what's going to resonate with you. But I guess that would make sense because it would absorb the sunlight, and so it wouldn't brown as quickly. It wouldn't dry out as quickly. Huh. Yeah, never thought of it that way. Thank you. So this is usually found on the east and west coast. This is the cedar, and I actually should probably boil some anyway, and because I'm getting a little bit of a rash because of a reaction that I was having to a hair thing that I was using, hairspray that I was using, and I stopped using it, but the rash hasn't quite gone away yet. It's in the process of it. It's not as bad, but yeah, whenever I'm having an allergic reaction, I use cedar to kind of calm that down, which is great. And it smells kind of like pine saw when you're boiling it on the stove, but you want to boil it for quite a while just because the medicine is so tough, and so you want to be able to like saturate that water with that medicine. And you can use the same sprig like many, many, many times. For tea, you can use it to like soak a cloth in and put it on your neck like I'm going to be doing later. You can breathe in the vapors, which I'm going to be doing later, but you can also grind it up and use it with, well, I'd say bear grease, but not a lot of people have access to bear grease, but coconut oil works just as well, and you can put it and use it on skin conditions. So yeah, I swear by it. It's pretty awesome. This is, now we're going to go to the west, which is Grandmother Moon's territory. This is why it's connected to water. It's connected to our emotions because our emotions are liquid. This that I have here, this particular type of sage, oh, I have a bunch of bulbs in here. This is, whoops, a mess right now. It's everywhere. This is buffalo sage. It's also known as buffalo grass, and this is one of the most predominant ones in this area. It's a prairie medicine, but I'm going to be using that today to smudge because I haven't smudged yet today. I just got right into doing work, and so I feel a little off center because I need to smudge every day to feel balanced. It really does make a huge difference. Awesome. But sage being the women's medicine, you can use it at any time. It's also considered the community medicine because anybody can use it. Oh, because it might get mold. Sorry. Thanks, George. So a friend of mine, a lot of people can't see the feed on YouTube or Twitter, but George is on Facebook, and he's saying that put it in a brown bag so it doesn't get mites or mold. Oh, very cool. So that's the same reason we wrap a lot of our tobacco, is so that it doesn't, well, tobacco has a tendency to dry out, so we do wrap it in like red cloth to keep it moist so that we can use it in particular ceremonies or so that we can lay it down on the ground. But all right, back to sage. So sage being the women's medicine, it teaches us about honoring our tears, honoring our emotions, honoring our connection to community, and really fostering that sense of unconditional love within our community without judgment, because that's what true love is. It doesn't have judgment. It doesn't have stipulations attached to it. It's just about embracing that person who is with you and learning from them. But sage really is about bringing community together. I'm Cree, so I use a lot of sage in everything that I do, but I am in Blackfoot territory, and so when I'm sitting with Blackfoot elders, often they'll be using sage, or not sage, sweetgrass in ceremony, whereas Cree, we use a lot more sage. So yeah, not right or wrong, just different teachings. And with my teachings, when a woman is on her moon time, she can smudge with sage at any time because it is the women's medicine, and so yeah. And so then we're going to go to the north. And in the north, we have tobacco. I have quite a few little things of tobacco here. So I have pipe tobacco, which Smells amazing. I bought it because I was going to pipe ceremony and I needed a pipe tobacco to carry with my pipes. And then I have this beautiful tobacco was gifted to me. A friend of mine actually grows it. And when I saw it, it's so beautiful because she still has some of the buds in it, some of the little flowers, and it looks so much different than the tobacco that you would find in the store. But again, when you're gifting tobacco, it's not about the kind or the type or anything like that. It's about the intention that you put into it. And that's anything that you do. It's the intention that you put into it. But tobacco is our spirit medicine, so we're not actually taking it into our bodies. We're praying with it. We're using it to smudge, but unlike all of the other medicines that we can like drink or smoke or eat or soak in our bathtub, we don't actually breathe it in. We don't keep it into our body because it's a spirit medicine. It's connects us to Creator, but it's more about having that faith. It's something that we gift to each other to say thank you from our spirit to their spirit. It's something that we give to the earth to say thank you to Mother Earth, to always give something back, because if we take and take and take, there's going to be nothing left. But it's really just about honoring the four directions and honoring that spirit that's within us and all around us. And by giving it back to the earth, it actually helps those plants to grow back faster. So, yay. And then this is also Kinsasa, which I keep in the north. This is also considered the north medicine. This is the spirit medicine that we can actually use, whether it be in tea or whether it be in the pipe or whether it be in our baths or actually on the outside of our body. It's really good for clotting. So if you like skin your knee or you have like a wound, you just put a little bit of powder stuff in there and it'll actually stop the bleeding until you're able to get it handled. So I know, because I've used it quite a few times because I'm a little clumsy when I hike. But I just want to light my smudge today. First of all, I'm going to just explain my smudge bowl. So all four directions are in my smudge bowl. I have the shell, which represents water. The medicine, today is sage, goes into the bowl. It represents earth because it's connected to the earth. When we light it on fire, it represents fire. And then the smoke going up represents spirit or air. And so all four directions are in the smudge bowl. And there's no right or wrong way to smudge. Some of the things that I enjoy doing is I take off my earrings or any metal that I'm wearing, because metal holds energy and I want to get rid of the energy. So the medicine's it's for cleansing. I tell kids when we smudge, it's like you have a shower or bath to clean your body, you smudge to clean your spirit. Just get rid of it. Anything that you're carrying, you want to get rid of. And here we are. So I prefer smudging every day, or sometimes it's just smudging when you need something, whether it be, you've had a really hard week, or you just need some balance, you just need some clarity. Woo, there we go. So I always light mine with a match. I never put, if you don't have a match and you only have a lighter, I'd suggest taking like a stick or a stem and lighting it, because we're actually not entitled to the gas from the earth. And so to honor and respect Mother Earth, we use something that comes from her and that can replenish itself. And so the good thing I do is I clean my hands in. So anything that I'm carrying, I get rid of. I bring it over my body 4 times, down to the 4 directions of my body. Oh, you might have noticed I was fanning it with my hand. We never blow on it because our breath is our life and our life is precious and we don't waste that for anybody. I'm actually going to come here so I can actually talk to you at the same time. I can bring it over my body 4 times, down to the 4 directions in my body. Smudge my mind so I can think clearly and learn from every person that crosses my path. So I can be open-minded and never rigid with my thinking. Smudge my ears so I can be open to hear all of the messages that Creator sends me. To remind myself we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. Smudge my eyes so I can see all of the beauty that surrounds me. Very thankful for my vision this lifetime, and so I can see beyond my vision to the unseen. Smudge my nose so I smell danger, nature, and cookies. I smudge my mouth so I speak only true and kind words that are helpful and benefit mankind. Always asking myself, is it truthful? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If it's respectful. If it's none of those things, don't say it, don't do it. Smudge my throat because I'm very thankful for my voice this lifetime, so I can continue to give voice to the voiceless and honor my ancestors with my voice. I smudge my lungs so I breathe good, clean air and honor the sacred breath that we all share. That's that breath of spirit that connects each and every one of us. Smudge my heart so I remember to be kind and compassionate and show unconditional love to all those around me, my friends, my family, my acquaintances, all my relations, and that is everybody. The trees, the stones, the earth, the waters, the winds, the four-leggeds, the flyers, the climbers, the crawlers, everyone. Smudge my stomach so all of the food that I eat this day will nourish my body. Smudge my belly button so I honor the spirit. This is how we're connected before we come into this world. So this is where our intuition, our spirit speaks to us, our ancestors speak to us. This is why our intuition is never wrong, because it's our spirit. Smudge my womanhood because I'm very thankful to be a woman and a mother in this time. As a two-spirit woman, I carry both that masculine and feminine energy within me in an outward way. So I'm thankful for those teachings as well. Smudge my shoulders and my back so I can carry all of the responsibilities that Creator has gifted me with grace and humility. Smudge my arms so I can do the work that Creator's put me here to do in a good way. I smudge my legs so I can walk this red road in a good way. And I smudge my feet so I stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth, treading lightly upon her and honoring her with every step. And yeah, if there's anyone that you want to send extra love to, so you just hold them in your heart and you send that love and appreciation to them. Maybe that healing, recognizing that it's not just physical healing that people need to pray for, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual healing as well. And if there's anywhere in your body you need a little extra love, a little extra help, a little extra healing, smudge those areas too. So I've had multiple hip surgeries, so I always smudge my hips because I'm very thankful to be walking. And I know that the traditional teachings and ways of knowing and drumming and singing and marching, that has really helped me on my path to healing, because if I didn't have those things in my life, I don't think I would be walking. So I'm always very, very humbled and thankful for that. And whenever I'm feeling a little extra stiff, I smudge and I feel a million times better. That smudge just wants to go today. Holy, it's amazing. Yeah, but I'm going to share just a healing song to begin, and then I've just been inspired to share some stories today. But the healing song actually is from several different elders that I've known throughout my life. All of Manitopas being one of them, my Musham being another, Joseph Grey Eyes before he passed, and Carrie Moore is another one here in town, but there's a lot of different elders that carry this song, and when we sing it, it's for healing. We used to only bring it into ceremony because it is such a wonderful and beautiful and powerful song. But I've been told that because of the time that we're in, because we need to come together as all of our relations, we need to be able to heal together and grow together, and rebuild our community in a good way. We share it with everyone now. And so within the song, we sing it, of course, 4 times from the 4 directions of the medicine wheel. But that 3rd time, we actually stop drumming. And that's the healing round. So in that silence, in that healing, I want you to ask for the things that you need for yourself, because of course you need to heal yourself before you can heal others. Ask for those people that you need healing for in your life. Also, praying for our beautiful Mother Earth to help us with that guidance, that healing that we need, and for her own healing as well. To all of our relations, you know, the 4-leggeds, the 2-leggeds, everybody, because they all need healing right now. I think we're at a time where we all need healing. But also to pray for our society as a whole, to pray for our future generations. And then once you've held all of those intentions, as soon as that drum beat comes in for that 4th round, just let that out. Let all of those intentions out. Let all of those prayers out, because that's all prayer is intention. But yeah, so I'm just really humbled and thankful to be able to share this song. And it's done as a heartbeat because that's the prayer beat or that honor beat. So this is the Cree healing song. It's also called the crying song or the wailing song. So if tears come, let them out, because that's the healing that needs to come with those tears. Baby drum. I need to make more drums this weekend. It's because I'll be teaching a larger class next week, and I'm hoping to at least have drums to take care of everybody. But yeah, I wanted to share some stories today, because one of the stories that's been kind of going through my head all day, of course, is this story. I don't know if you can see her, but this is Buffalo, the White Buffalo Woman, White Buffalo Calf Woman. And this is a Lakota story. And it's just a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story about like humility. There's also a lot of prophecies around this time and around this story, and why it's so important now, because it really reminds us of that humility that we need to share. And so yeah, let's go back. So a long time ago, there was a nation, and they were suffering from a severe famine. So they asked their two best hunters, their two best warriors, to keep going out further and further and further to see if they could find game. And then one day, as they were going out further and further, there was two brothers. So the first brother saw a silhouette in the distance, and as he told his brother, like, come on, let's find out what this is. It might be an animal, because from a distance it looked like an animal. But as they got closer, they saw it was a beautiful young woman. And as they got even closer, they realized that she wasn't wearing any clothes. And so the first brother, who he carried a lot of jealousy and impure thoughts on his heart, when he saw her, of course he wasn't thinking the best things. He was thinking, some of the worst things, of course. And so when he looked upon her and he went to touch her, to grab her, he turned into dust, and he just dissipated on the wind. And the second brother, who knew this woman was sacred and tried to warn his brother that this woman was sacred, knelt before her, and he closed his eyes and he said, I am so sorry for the actions of my brother. Please, sacred woman, how can I help? Or is there anything that I can do? Can I bring you back to my nation? We don't have much, but we will share what we have. And she said, thank you for your kind offer and for your kind heart. And I know your spirit is pure, so I wish to gift you with teachings. And so he was very, very thankful and humbled for her gift. And she said, now, the teachings that I will share with you, I will share with your nation. So please take me to your nation. And so together they went to the nation. And as she was sharing these beautiful teachings, she was sharing ceremonies with everyone. And they continued to share whatever they had, however small it was. They were just always very, very humbled for her teachings and gave what they could. And as they came together to take care of this woman, to feed this woman, they realized that the more they brought together, the more that they had as a whole. And so they continued to share with her, and she continued to share many, many teachings with them, and teachings of the medicine wheel, which is something that she had gifted them, teachings of the sweat lodge, teachings of the teepee and why we set it up in a certain way, but also teachings of how to hunt in a good way, how to watch the moons and the berries and the growth and the movement of the animals and the winds, to be able to know when to hunt and what to hunt for, so they would never experience famine again. And they were very, very thankful and humbled for all of these teachings and all of the ceremonies that she took them through. And then on the fourth day, she gifted them something very, very special indeed. She gifted them the pipe. And as she gifted the pipe to the brother who had brought her, she said, "This is a sacred pipe, and this will continue for your nation for many, many generations. But within the pipe, we have two pieces. We have that masculine piece and that feminine piece. And as they come together, that they make sacredness." And she shared with them all of the teachings of the pipe. And then she said, "Now I must leave." And as she was leaving, and he continued to escort her out, he was willing to walk with her as far as needed so that she was safe. They got over the top of a hill, and then she turned into a buffalo. She rolled over once, and she was a yellow buffalo. And that buffalo began to walk to the east. And then she rolled over again and became the red buffalo. And that buffalo began to walk to the south. And then she rolled over again and became the black buffalo, the deep brown buffalo. And she started to walk to the west. And then the last time she rolled over, she became the white buffalo. And she started to walk to the north until she dissipated into the clouds in the distance, because you could not see that fur of the white and that purity through the clouds. And so to this day, the Lakota know that all four nations are within all of us. All four directions are within all of us, and the pipe will unify all of us. And so this is why that was the gift of the white buffalo calf woman. Not only the teachings of many different ceremonies, but the teachings of the pipe to bring us together and unify all nations. As those buffaloes went to each of those directions, they brought different teachings to the people of those different directions. And so this is why we honor the pipe, and we honor the white buffalo calf woman. And this is why many different nations have stories around how the pipe came to them. But oftentimes it is brought through a sacred being. And yeah, so I'm very, very thankful and humbled for that story. But she is said to bring peace. She is said to when she returns, she will return several times until she's able to bring peace back to the Lakota and to all of the original peoples, to be able to help them to unify and to heal the wounds that will happen, because we knew that this troubled time was going to come, this turbulent time was going to come. But we also know that we can get through this as long as we are together, and as long as we continue to honor those teachings of White Buffalo Woman, of unity and of connection to each other. And so, yeah, there's been so many white animals born, not just white buffaloes that have been born, but also there have been white deer, white elk, white moose. There's of course an abundance of spirit bears right now that are being born, because we're in that time that we need that hope, that we need that salvation, we need that connection to each other. And they act as that symbol of purity, of connection, of that pureness of heart and the pureness of spirit that brings us together, to be able to clear our mind and to keep it open enough that we can connect with everyone, but also to honor our body and the sacred teachings of the earth. And so, yeah, done is the Buffalo Calf Woman. So I want to share, actually I'm going to share Women's Honor Song, just because that song is actually from Joan Henry, and she is Arapaho and Cherokee. Sorry, my daughter's printing something. So we just set up my office, and the printer is right beside my camera. So enjoy the printer sounds while I grab my drum. So this is Anagea, the Women's Honor Song, and Joan Henry is just lovely. She's got a lot of beautiful songs on YouTube, and definitely something I would love to learn more. So I might send her a message and be like, "Can I learn another one of your beautiful songs?" But this is Anakia, the Women's Honor Song, and in it you might hear that pulse that women naturally have. We naturally have that rhythm with Grandmother Moon, of course, because we cycle in 28 days, but we also have that natural rhythm of connection to the earth. This is why when we walk, you know, if there's a baby inside us, that baby gets those natural bounces, that natural pulse of the earth. But also, when you pick up a baby, you have a natural instinct to just bounce it, to calm it, to just make sure that it feels safe and it feels comfortable, because it's that pulse that connects each and every one of us. So this is Anakia, the Women's Honor Song. Anakia, weha weha, weha no way, weha weha, weha weha, weha ha ha ha. Anakia, weha weha, weha no way, weha weha, weha weha, weha ha ha ha. We know way, no way. We know way, we are. We know way, no way, we oh hey we are. We hi we hi we hi we are. Anagia, we ha we ha. We ha no way, we ha we ha we ah we are we are. We know way, no way. We know way, we are. We know way, no way, we oh hey we are. We hi we hi we hi we are. Anagia, we ha we are. We ha no way, we ha we are. We ah we are we are. We know way, no way. We know way, we are. We know way, no way, we oh hey we are. We hi we hi we hi we are. Anagia, we ha we are. We ha no way, we ha we are. We ah we are we are. We know way, no way. We know way, we are. We know way, no way, we oh hey we are. We hi we hi we hi we are. Anagia, we ha we are. We ha no way, we ha we are. We ah we are we are. Anagia, we ha we are. We ha no way, we ha we are. We ah we are we are. We are. Awesome. So another song, or another story actually, that was going through my head was how the mouse got his brown teeth. So this is one of my Auntie Frida Hinneke's stories, and it was actually put into a book, so it kind of captured it, because I remember hearing it. She shared it once, or twice, or a few times. Every time I heard it, I heard something different, because of course I heard it at different ages, but at a family reunion. And then I was thinking of her, and I was Googling her, and she is actually an author, so she actually wrote quite a few books just to capture some of those stories from when we were growing up, and so I'm very, very thankful. And so this was one of the stories. So I'm going to tell it as I remember it, and you know, from the few times that I've heard it. And so, yeah, a long, long time ago, there was a young boy, and he was a fantastic trapper. He lived with his kokum, his grandmother, and he would every day make sure that he caught just enough for dinner. And he always knew never to leave his traps unattended, because, you know, that animal could suffer. And so you would always make sure to go back within a short period of time just to make sure that it was okay, that it, yeah, and just to be able to respect the animals, because you don't want animals to suffer. You want to make sure that you honor their life, just like they're going to be honoring you by sustaining you. And so he was quite good. He knew always to clean up his traps. He knew never to leave anything because it could cause trouble, cause problems. And he was always really, really good about keeping things for his cookum and listening to his cookum. And then one day, as he was, collecting his traps and collecting dinner for the next day, he went and he saw this big path. He could tell that something was coming through the forest. There was this huge path, and it carved its way not only along the ground, but then up through the trees and over. And he thought, what kind of an animal is that? And he tried to catch glances of it and glimpses of it because he could never see what this animal was. All he knew is, because he was a fantastic tracker, that it was big. It was really big. And so he knew he really wanted to catch it. He wanted to see what this animal was. And he was the best at weaving. And so he weaved the largest snare that he had ever made. And as he was weaving it, because it took him several days, his cookum was like, "What are you weaving?" And he's like, "I'm weaving a snare. I'm going to catch something big." And his cookum said, "Well, how big? Do you know what you're trying to catch?" And he's like, "No, cookum, well, I'm sure it'll be fine." And his cookum warned him, sometimes certain things you aren't meant to catch. And remember, never leave that snare unattended, because you never know what's going to be caught inside it. And he's like, "I'll remember, cookum." And when he was finished, he was so excited to find out what this animal was and to catch this animal. So he went out first thing in the morning and he laid the snare out, and he waited and he waited and he waited and he watched. And there was no animal that came through, but somebody had to have come through, because it was the same path every day, which was well worn into the soil and into the trees. And he thought, well, maybe it only comes out at night, but just this once I'm going to leave my snare out. And so he left the snare along the path that he'd been tracking. And then he went home with his catch of the day. And him and his cookum ate very well that night. And he fell asleep. He was really exhausted from waiting all day and catching the little animals in between. But then his cookum woke him up and said, "Grandson, what have you done?" He said, "Well, what do you mean, cookum?" And she's like, "Nosums, what time is it?" And he looked outside. He's like, "Well, it's dark, so it's still night. Why are you waking me up?" But his body felt rested, but the sun wasn't up. And she shook her head and she said, "Nosums, did you leave a snare out last night?" And he said, "Oh, cookum, I did leave a snare out last night. I should go find out what I caught." And so he stumbled his way through the woods, and it was so, so dark. But as he got closer to where he'd put the snare down, it got brighter and brighter and brighter until he could barely see, because the light was so, so bright. But he saw the outline of the snare around the light, and he realized he had caught the sun. Oh, he felt terrible, but how was he going to let the sun go? And so he tried to get closer and closer, but the sun struggled, trying to move faster and harder against the snare. And he's tried to say, calm yourself, grandfather sun, I will let you go." But he couldn't get close enough to the snare because it was just so hot and so blinding. And he started to get really sunburned. And so he asked all of the other animals, "Who can help me? Who can help me?" And the bear said, "Well, I'm very, very strong. Let me try." And so the bear grabbed onto the rope and tried to dig his claws in to cut through the rope, but all the bear did is burn all of the hair off of his paws. And this is now why the bears have bear paws. And so all of the other animals said, "Well, let's try. And then the robin tried to peck at it, but as she got closer and closer, it just kept burning her chest. And so she flew away, and she said, "I don't think anyone can get through this." And then the little humble mouse said, "I can try." And the grandson said, "But you're so tiny, Mr. Mouse. Like, how are you supposed to get through that?" And the mouse was determined. She said, "I will try." And so as she got closer and closer, her whiskers started to burn and her eyes started to squint, but she continued to chew closer and closer and chew the rope harder and harder and harder, until finally the rope snapped and the sun flew straight up into the sky and back onto the path. From that moment on, the sun decided he would never touch the earth again. So this is why grandfather sun never touches the earth. And as the little mouse went up to the little boy, and the little boy was so thankful to that humble mouse for letting the sun go, He said, thank you so much, Mouse. And the mouse looked up at him and smiled broadly. But the mouse's teeth, they weren't white anymore. They were completely burned, totally brown. And so from this moment on, that is why the mouse has brown teeth. And that is the story of the mouse who has brown teeth, or the story of catching the sun. It depends on who you ask. But I'm just really humbled for that story. It's just a very cute story. So I'm going to share with you another song. So this is the Cree Creator song, because I haven't sang the Creator song in a while, and I really love it. This song came to me through my friend Elizabeth Potskin, Night Sun, and I'm just really thankful and humbled for her presence in my life. And oh my gosh, I'm just like living vicariously through the pictures of her adorable babies. and, but this song, when she shared it with me, it was the song exchange. So I was working on a song with her, and she shared this song with me. But when she shared it, I knew it. It felt like I knew it for years and years and years. And so when I learned it, I brought it to my great aunt, who was, she's in care, in an extended care facility. And so I was drumming and singing with her. But the strangest thing happened is she started to sing this song with me. And afterward I was like, Auntie, how do you know this song? And she said, well, how do you know this song? This is our family song. Where did you find it? I'm glad it came home. And so this is the Creator song, and I'm glad it is home. I always say, whatever's meant to happen will happen, and it was meant to find its way home. So, I think my time is just about up, but I'm going to share a couple of songs before I close. So one of the songs is that's been kind of going through my head, and I was thinking a lot about it when I was thinking about the Buffalo Calf Woman story, was those Four Directions song, which was really about those four winds that guide us where we need to go, and they teach us really about honoring all of those directions around us and within us. This song, I learned it's the Four Directions song, but it actually is called the Cherokee Morning Song, or Wende Aho, and I believe Ulali and Robbie Robertson brought it forward. Ulali is incredible if you have an opportunity to listen to some of their music. Awesome. Their vocals and their harmonies are just incredible. They're sick. They're so awesome. But definitely check them out. But this is the Four Winds or Four Directions song. Or Cherokee Morning song. You can find it on YouTube under that. And then the last song I always love to close with is the traveling song. Usually I would use this song or the Thunderbird song, because the Thunderbird pushes us on our way. This song is very much the same, and it just teaches us that, you know, our path takes us where we need it to. It teaches us really to be humble and to listen to all of the teachings that are around us. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that everybody can be with me, or even just share it. Feel free to share this, the teachings or the songs or the stories, because these are public. Even I've had people ask about my smudge bowl and about smudging online or in big groups. So I have 3 different smudge bowls. I have this smudge bowl, which is my public smudge bowl, which I use for public events, for teaching. And so this is really about bringing community together for guidance and for learning and for growth and to share, because we need to be able to learn from each other, to grow together and to build community. I also have a smaller one, which is my ceremony one. So if I'm hosting ceremony, that is the one we use to pass around in ceremony. And then I have a third one, which is my own personal smudge bowl. And so if I'm sitting alone with my pipe, or I'm sitting alone for ceremony, or for example on my fast, I have my personal one, and that is just for me. And so again, it's not a right or wrong thing. Everybody has different teachings around what they can and cannot share, and so yeah, I just try and do it to the best of my abilities, because it's really important just to do it without judgment and to do it in a good way. And so this song was shared with me by one of my elders, Sharon Prue Turner, before she passed. And so whenever I sing it, I always hear her voice singing with me. And she's just, and she was such a beautiful and pivotal person in my life. And I'm so thankful and humbled to have had her in my life, however short a period of time it was. And I miss her a lot. It was also, I thought I'd lost it, but then it ended up coming back to me through a few friends that ended up coming here to do a show from Ontario. And then they were like, hey, can you help us sing a song? I'm like, sure. Can you teach it to me? And they're like, sure. And then they sang it. I was like, I know this song. So I was just so thankful that it came back to me. And I felt Sharon's presence there in that moment, and it continues. So this is the traveling song to teach us that all roads, they lead home, because home is where we make it, home is where we create it, community is where we create it. It also teaches us that our journey is what shapes and molds who we are. We can't force things to happen, we just have to let them happen naturally and unfold in front of us. So this is this is the traveling song. I wish everybody a beautiful week ahead. And yeah, I hope you all have an awesome Halloween. And things are fantastic and spooky as the veil is very, very thin. Please just be open to hear all of your ancestors talking to you. Yeah, I know that I will be. And I'm also super stoked to carve pumpkins. All right, here we are. Thank you all so much. Hi, Chimagwitch. I hope you have a beautiful week. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, please do send me a message. Although if it's an email, I'm going to be real slow to answer it. But Magwitch, everyone, hi, and it was beautiful to see everyone. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Joan. And thank you to everyone else who's been joining us, John and Sarah. Oh, I miss you, lady. But yes, thank you so much again. And I hope everyone has a beautiful week. Magwitch, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.